Alright, so let's get the basics of this product output inside of our client by making an HTTP request. Again, if you head over to the course resources, you'll find the HTML for the product that we're going to pop on the single product page. So we're not going to be looking at the product index just yet. We're going to be looking at the actual product page itself. So we're going to go ahead and copy this code here. So from the course resources, we're going to come over to pages and we're going to do a pretty similar thing we did for the categories. So we're going to create a products folder inside of here. And then in here, we're going to create a slug so we can actually grab that slug out. So let's create a template in here. Go ahead and pop that code into here. And let's go down and create out a script section and go ahead and export that default object out. So if we just head over now to /product/anything, it doesn't really matter, we see the basic layout and the markup for our product. Now we've not looked at images just yet. We've not really looked at the product price, to be honest, apart from just adding it to the database as an integer. We need to format that in some way so we can actually grab the formatted price with a currency, but we can at least go ahead and grab the product from the back end based on the slug that we pass in here and output the very simple information about this. So how do we do this? Well, over in our script section, what we can do is make an asynchronous request once we land on this page before that page loads. So let's go ahead and create an async data method. This is just the standard method that we use within Nuxt to make a request on the server side of our client app, because of course that runs on Node. And into this, we'll get the parameters that are passed into the URL, and we will get the app instance as well. So we can use that to make an Axios request. So inside of here, we're going to say let response, and we're going to wait for Axios to get back to us with that product information. So in this case, we can say products / and then in here, params.slug. So we'll actually get back the slug inside of these parameters. And then all we do inside of here is we return what we want this to be called. So in this case, we want this to be called product, and we say response.data. Now what this will do is inside of here, assign this to the data that we have inside of this component, which is essentially a page. So we can say product is null by default. And then once we load this page, before we actually see the page, we're going to make a request. When this request finishes, pop that product information into there for us. So if I give this a refresh, sure enough, we get a request failed with a 404, and we'll deal with this a little bit later on. But if we type in Nike Air Max, which is of course a valid slug on our back end, we actually get that information back. So you can open up View Tools and inspect this, but we pretty much know it's there. And what I tend to do is just go ahead and output the product as a whole in there, and you can see that we get all of that information in there. Perfect. So what we can do with this now is just start to fill this information in. So of course we want to output the product name. We want to output the product description if it's available. So let's say product description, but we don't want this empty paragraph hanging around if we don't have a product description. So let's add an if statement in there to only show that if that exists. And it looks like we've got a little problem here. So let's just check this out. And I've said v4, so let's change that over to v-if. And there we go. So we get Nike Air Max. Let's just add a description in here, just say shoes, you know, just keep things simple. And sure enough, we get that. So really basic to put together a simple page like this using the data back from our API using Nuxt.